Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Go ahead and pull up a chair, take a seat, and let's go ahead and hop right into a recounting of the tale of Season 1, Episode 2 of the Flavor of Love. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. We already did Episode 1 last week. If you want to watch that, there were 5 girls eliminated, and same thing goes for today. Flav will have to eliminate another 5 girls from the house, taking it down from 15 to 10, so he can really get down to the nitty-gritty of who's here for love and who's just here for the Flav of Flav. I don't even know if that made sense. But let's go ahead and get right into it. It's a messy episode. It's a stupid episode. It's always stupid, but that's why I love this show. I live for trash TV. So let's go ahead and hop right in. So we get a beautiful opening scene of Flav waking up in his beautiful pimpified bedroom. And we find out that he's going to be cutting 5 girls today. We then get this beautiful shot of Hottie doing the most. And by the most, I mean Tai Chi in front of the front door of the mansion. I don't know. I can just imagine the producer walking up to her and being like, we need B-roll. Can you just do something? So we find out that there has actually been some drama in the house since our last episode. It's only been 20 minutes since the crew stopped filming, but whatever. We find out that Georgia and New York got into a fight because Georgia has accused New York of quote-unquote doing the most. And by doing the most, we mean New York has like 3 outfit changes a day. and you know, some girls in the house don't like that. You know, they want you to chill. Stop hogging the laundry machine. Miss Latin attempts to call her ex while Oyster is like spying on her. She immediately gets kicked off the phone by him. He wants nothing to do with her. Of course he wants nothing to do with her. They're exes and she dumped him. She then goes back to her bedroom crying about how she spent the last 4 years of her life with this guy and she just wants to hear his voice and talk to him. But it's like, girlie, if you wanted that, why did you break up with him? And if you really wanted that, why'd you come on the Flavor of Love? That doesn't make any sense. The girls then ask her, after she cries for about 15 minutes, they say, if you right now had your ex-boyfriend show up at the front door and say, baby, I want you back, what would you do? And she said she would go with him. Insanity. Insanity. Why are you even on the show? Why are you even here? This doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I'm getting a telemarketer call. The next shot, we see all the girls downstairs and Big Rick comes in with this silver platter with a cloche on top. That's what you call that thing. The thing that goes on top of the silver platter, that's a cloche. He takes off the cloche and we see that it's a flavogram. Flav has sent a message to the girls to let them know that he wants to go on a hot tub date with all of them, and they have 10 minutes to impress him, and they have to decorate their own little hot tub. So all the girls get loaded up into the bus with all their little supplies, and we head on over to the resort where all the hot tubs are gonna be. But of course, before they even show up, New York and Rain get into a massive fight in the van. New York straight up says, I don't want to be friends with anybody, I don't want to talk to anybody, and I don't want to get to know none of you bitches. And that seems to really gag all the other girls, as if this isn't a competition or something. And they just can't handle it. Pumpkin is crying. Goldie's trying to separate the 2 girls. Rain is losing it. She's doing that thing that you always see girls in fights do where she says, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up right now. And then New York's just sitting there like, I don't have to shut up. I don't need to shut up. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my mom.
In my head, I will throw this drink in your face. I'm not gonna shut up for you. I am not gonna shut up.
They get to the resort, all the girls get out, they get assigned their hot tub, and they get right to it. They're setting up little games, they're making cute little decorations, they're really setting the moon with the candles and the flowers and the roses. I also just wanted to take note of something in the van. Why did they have horror movie lighting? That was an odd choice, even for a film crew in 2006. That was an odd choice. So Flav gives us a little monologue about how he's so excited to get to know all the girls again and get a chance to see their personality, and he hops into the first hot tub room with Pumpkin. I just want to make a note of Flav's outfit for this hot tub date. He's got like little the little puffs on. Love it. Love it. He starts with Pumpkin, and Pumpkin starts off really strong. She's got one of those cute little flirty games where it says little things like, kiss me or give me a back rub. And Flav seems to think that that's pretty cute. So good start for Pumpkin. Then we head off and go over to Oyster. She takes a very strong approach and has a horse crap.
Whipped, if anything, I do the whipping.
Okay, sir. Everything you say goes.
Whoa!
Oh, I think most any man would melt over that. That was a lot. Sirius doesn't have to do anything. She's mad fit. Really, truly though, she is like body T, baby. She doesn't have to do anything. Flav is just taken aback by how gorgeous she is and like, same? Like, same. That swimsuit? Woo! I'd be sweating. My guy. Then we move on to Peaches. And Peaches is so cute. She's totally the outlier here. She literally sings him an acoustic song on guitar. That's adorable. Now, Sweetie was funny. Sweetie literally made up a rap for him with her little robe on. And then at the end of the rap, she's like, Flav, will you give me a chance? And then busts open the swimsuit and it literally says Flav's girl.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
How'd you have time to make that? Like, they really want us to believe that this show only gave them like an hour to get everything together for this. That was some pre-production bullshit right there. Now, New York pulls out the big guns. She's got the candles. She's got the roses. She's got like the whole Valentine's vibe around the whole space. And she's like pulling Flav in really close. So she's saying things like, I can be that woman that you need. The woman that you come home to. And she's like really laying it on thick. Then we get a shot of Rain, the girl who cries. And she's not even wearing a bikini. She's wearing a wife beater. And they're in the hot tub together. And we get this wild ass clip of Rain.
Every single man that I've dated either used me or lied to me or cheated on me or done something.
Girl, you can't just say things like that. It is technically only your second date. Technically. Like, I would keep that to myself a little longer. But hey, you do what works for you. I am not going to psychoanalyze why the hell you feel the need to trauma dump on Flav. Hoop is cute. She's got satin pillows everywhere. I don't think they get into the water once. We get Apple. She's dressed up like a hula dancer, which I think he likes. That was kind of cute. Georgia tries to teach Flay about feng shui, and he's not interested in the least bit. He does not care.
She tried to have me doing, but it was some feng shui. Yeah, I never heard that word before, but
all right. And she can tell. She can tell he doesn't care, so she's like, let's get in the hot tub. Goldie doesn't even have to try. I think Flav just likes to be around Goldie. They're like dancing on each other.
It's Flavor and Goldie. Hey, it's Flavor and Goldie.
baby, chill before you shake this hot tub off the mouth.
They're like making up little songs whenever they hang out. I am now rooting for Goldie. I like her. She just seems so simple when it comes to her and Flav together. She's not trying too hard. She's not pushing. She's not trying to be like the hottest. It really just feels like she's being herself. So, point of inspiration for Goldie. Be yourself. Now, Smiley does, without as much trying hard, to do what New York was trying to do. She takes makeup wipes, and as soon as she sits in the hot tub with Flav, she says, I need to show you something. And she wipes away all of her makeup. She's gorgeous, so it doesn't really matter. But she wipes away all of her makeup, and she says, I want you to see the real me. And I want you to know that I am trying to be the most honest version of myself for you. Smiley, that's some high-key beautiful symbolism right there. So, point of inspiration for Smiley, for the literal symbolism. We get Dimples, who brings out the roller skates, and she is struggling to keep Flav up on his feet. And they're in this really small confined space next to a giant hole filled with water. Maybe not your best choice of execution, but I get it. The personality was there. Hottie belly dances for him. And then she starts doing this weird, like, trance thing.
You should look deeply into the light. Yes, to look up at the light right over there.
Where she's trying to, like, hypnotize him. I don't really know what she was trying to do, but he is sick of it. He's sick of it. Look at this clip.
She tried to hypnotize your man. She tried to hypnotize me. What, you think I'm crazy?
So Miss Latin, he comes in and she's like, "You've been to France?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've been to Paris." And then she starts trying to make him pronounce a French word.
Molinard.
The Molinard.
Molinard. The Molinard.
Molinard.
The Molinard.
The Molinard.
The Molinard.
The Molinard.
I don't even know what this word is for. She does such a terrible job of explaining what exactly she's trying to tell him. I didn't get it at all, but it was funny. Then after this is all wrapped up, we find out that Flav was using this challenge to determine who is gonna get to go on a 3-on-1 date with Flav tomorrow. And he picks Smiley, New York, and Miss Latin. And Flav then gives us like a little idea of why he picked all of these girls. He says that he felt like these women were the ones who were really serious with him and told him the things that he needed to hear. And let me just remind y'all, Flav is a Pisces, and that makes so much sense. It just tracks, you know, like it. I think all of this whole debacle, the whole show, the whole everything makes so much more sense when you take into account that Flav is a Pisces. The girls all then get home and it's late. They're all tired. Everyone has like high tensions because they just all got disappointed by not being picked by Flav. And Pumpkin and New York start to get in a fight. Now, I don't like New York, right? But she looks at Pumpkin and says, "You need a facelift, white trash." Flav literally hears them fighting and comes downstairs because he's like, "What the hell is going on?" And Pumpkin is in shambles, man. She is like sobbing, full ugly cry, sobbing. And he is trying to help her by giving her some weird lyrical advice.
She don't put nothing in your pockets. So why should her words matter to you? If it don't apply, let it fly.
It's bad advice, by the way, because New York full-on started that fight by calling Pumpkin white trash and telling her that she had no money and she had no taste, and if she did have money and if she did have taste, maybe Flav would actually be into her, which is savage. But she did start the fight, and then as they're trying to console her, New York walks right by and Pumpkin freaks out again, and Flav is like, "What is happening?" And New York just goes, "Oh, Flav, I'm just going to get my cigarettes." Like, we then get this behind the scenes clip of New York basically saying that she is personally going to take out Pumpkin. They're enemies now. As if New York doesn't have enough enemies in the house. Like, girl, we're fighting to come up with reasons for people to justify to be friends with you, and they can't. And it's only episode 2. Miss Latin then calls her ex again, and she's so sad. She's crying, she's sobbing, and everyone's just kind of sick of it, because, like, girl, you've already made it very clear after this morning that you shouldn't be here, and people are sick of it. Everyone wants to tell Flav, but no one wants to be the snitch. No one wants to be a rat. No one wants him to look at her that way. Then Hottie pulls Miss Latin aside and says, I know what's going on. And she straight up asks Miss Latin, she says, "Do you still have feelings for him?" And she won't even like give a reasonable response or answer to that direct question. She starts freaking out, twisting Hottie's words, and goes inside and sits back down at dinner like nothing happened. And then finally everyone's like, "Hottie, what did you talk to Miss Latin about?" And she tells everyone that Miss Latin won't give a straight answer about whether or not she's actually here for Flav, or whether or not she still has emotional attachment to her ex-boyfriend. And people are getting sick of it, including Oyster. It's like a solid divide right down the middle of the house. Other people who are friends with Miss Latin don't want her to leave, obviously. But Hottie has a very valid point that it is really weird and it's really unfair to the other girls for her to be here when she doesn't even care about Flav. She don't even care about Flav. So the next day, breakfast rolls around, and Big Rick comes in with another silver platter and a bigger cloche this time. And underneath are 3 gifts for the girls who won the 3-on-1 date with Flav. And what is it? What are the gifts, you might ask? These absolutely adorable athletic sets from 2006. So cute. I love. So they get these cute little outfits on and they come downstairs, and Flav lets them know in this absolutely ridiculous outfit that they're taking a trip back to the 70s today. And they are going to go roller skating. Yay! Sorry, Dimples. He didn't want to skate with you anymore. That sucks. Sorry, boo. He is really trying to give his time to all 3 of these women, but New York absolutely cannot stand the idea of him giving attention to somebody else. So she's all over him, and she notices that he runs immediately as soon as one of the girls falls over to help and try and pick them back up. So she starts falling over nonstop, to the point that Flav even says it's obvious what she's trying to doing and what she's trying to do, and he's getting annoyed with her. We then get this little clip of Flav getting a little bit of time with Smiley, and he's basically just telling her how much he appreciated the previous symbolism that we talked about earlier, that he felt like he really sees the real her. Then Big Mike comes and interrupts and says, "It's time for everybody to eat at the snack bar." As we're all sitting at the snack bar, Flav goes around and asks each one of the girls if they'd been married before or if they'd had long-term relationship partners. And he starts with Smiley, and Smiley gets a little teary-eyed and says that she had a really bad divorce, actually. We find out that Smiley was basically in a relationship where the man said that he found out that he wasn't actually ever in love with her. He was only ever sexually attracted to her, which, like, you know, my heart really goes out to Smiley. That's so sad. And then I feel even more sad for her because she's like beating herself up in this little like after interview where she's like, who wants to go out with the girl who's crying? Rain. So then as Smiley is like sad and upset over this, Flav is so nice about it. He is so sweet, actually, with the way that he's comforting her and letting her know that he understands that, like, the past is the past. And there are things that are really hard that you have to go through in life, but you just need to let yourself feel those things and deal with the hurt and learn to move on. Because it's no good to bottle all of that up inside. I'm sorry. Who are you and what happened to Flava Flav? I was not expecting like legitimate good relationship advice from Flav from this man? What? Out of left field. Point of inspiration for Flava Flav actually having a heart and soul. Cute. We don't get any clips of Miss New York in this situation, and honestly I think it's because she keeps spewing the bullshit over and over again in this show that she's never actually been with anyone seriously because she was waiting for the right person and she was waiting for Flav. He then directly asks Miss Latin if she's had any serious relationships or been married, and she says, no, I haven't had any marriages, but I have had 2 serious relationships. One of them was through all of high school, and it was really bad, and the other one actually just ended recently. What a fantastic opportunity to tell Flava Flav about the bullshit you've been doing on his phone lines. But she doesn't. And then we get this clip of absolute idiotic dissonance where she literally admits she should have told him.
We had a conversation about our exes, so it would have been a perfect time to really say, this is what's going on, but I don't feel it's appropriate to mention it.
That being said, Flav does clock that something's kind of weird. He's like, she seems to have a lot of built up emotions about those exes. So at least he's like kind of on to something. The girls go home and New York starts instantly starting shit. Again. This girl doesn't sleep. She doesn't eat. She just smokes cigarettes and talks shit. Which is probably why she's on this show. Hottie is just delighted by all this shit stirring. She's very happy about it because she's already stirred the shit. So for someone else to start stirring the shit without her having to get involved, it's just good for her, right? Hottie then confronts Pumpkin, and Pumpkin tells her about that morning, what Miss Latin had said about if your boyfriend showed up right now at that front door and said, I want to take you back, I love you, come back to me. And that's just some BS. That is some real BS. If I was Flav, I'd want to know. But everyone's fighting because no one wants to be the rat. No one wants to be the snitch. Which, like, I get it at the end of the day. Wouldn't that be such a sign of good intentions that you are willing to take the bullet and be seen as a rat? To say something, to let him know that he shouldn't be wasting his time on this girl. Everyone's freaking out. Everyone's freaking out, running around like chickens with their head cut off. And Red Oyster's had enough of it. So she pulls him aside, sitting down with him, having a good little chat. She sits down with him and she gets right to it. And she says, if someone here in the house didn't have good intentions, you would want to know, wouldn't you? And he says, yeah, of course. So she tells him about what's been going down with Miss Latin, how she has called him at least 4 times now from the house because she misses him. And this is what Flav has to say about it.
And it was not soothing to my soul.
Wouldn't be soothing to my soul either, bud. I don't think it's soothing to anybody's soul. And in fact, he's so upset about this that he starts the elimination process immediately. He's like, everybody get downstairs. I've got clocks to give out because I've made some decisions. He really takes his time with this one. Very different than the last clock ceremony. He's not just yelling it out. He's looking everybody in the eyes and he's making sure that everyone here knows he's standing on business. We've got Sweetie, Sirius, Smiley, Peaches, Hoops, Goldie, Hottie, New York, Pumpkin. And now we're all down to the bit, sweating bullets, wondering, is he gonna keep the rat in? Or is he gonna keep the potential cheater?
Oyster, come get your clock. Clean rat will come up to me and they'll tell me things about what's going on behind my back because they have my best interests at heart.
Takes her and says that he appreciates the fact that she was so real with him, even though he gives us this like weird clip about her being like the queen rat. What? And that is the end of episode 2, season 1 of The Flavor of Love. We lost some good soldiers this week. We lost Rain, Apples, Georgia, Dimples, and Miss Latin. It was a rough elimination. It was a rough time getting there, but I think he made all the right choices. And you know what? I'm excited to see episode 3, season 1, because now I want to know who he's actually going to start taking seriously. Is Goldie going to keep seducing him with her country charm? Is New York really going to keep up all this shenanigans? Is everyone in the house just going to implode? Kind of how it feels. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to follow me anywhere, it's at hername.no. What? Huh? Here it is. It's on the screen. It's on the screen right there. Don't listen to your dyslexic bestie. She can't spell. If you guys have any shows you'd like me to watch, if you have any suggestions, if you like who got eliminated, or maybe your favorite just got thrown out of the house, comment down below and I will see you ASAP, because I love making these videos and I'm really excited to keep watching them with you. So give me a subscribe, give me a follow. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.